Good evening and welcome to the New Year's. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. This is our beginning of the year New Year's celebration, a networking meeting. We have a great turnout tonight. We are going to have not a presentation, but we have about 5 different announcements from very important groups throughout the city. The PIP program is growing. A lot of people are getting involved. And as I mentioned last year, we're getting a lot of departments that actually want to model us. So whatever you're doing as citizens out there involved in your communities, you're doing a great job because we're all getting together. And I know when Chief Fenner made chief here a year and a half ago, one thing that is always stuck in my mind, and I think it's stuck in everybody's mind, is his word is teamwork. And that's exactly what the PIP program is teamwork. Would also like to thank members of our Greater Houston Loss Prevention Alliance that donated food for this great networking meeting tonight. That includes Raising Cane's, HEB, Kroger's, Walgreens, and Walmart. And thank you very much. And, people ask, well, what does a retail business have to do with PIP? Well, it's actually about 13 years ago we formed this group, and all these businesses have been very, very active going on as far as wanting to reduce crime on their property. So they have worked with us in the department to give presentations, to come out for things to reduce crime on properties. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Joan Burchard.
Hi, everyone. Oh, we have a lot of blue in the back. Chief, should we sit him down in a chair, maybe?
No chairs.
Oh, we used them up, huh? Okay. Happy New Year from me. I hope everyone had a lovely holiday. Yes, you did. Okay. You know that this started in 1983, and we're 40 years old this year, 2003. We will have a big celebration at the 50th anniversary. You did say right? All of a sudden, lots of silence. We welcome you to the Chief's program, the Positive Interaction Program. And this is our networking holiday extravaganza. How's that? Okay. I'm sorry we didn't get to do this in November, so we're repeating it in January. It's live streamed for community members who cannot attend this evening. So if sometime you get into a little jam and you can't make it, here, or traffic is holding you up, you can certainly live stream it. As some of the nation's police departments have been focus of the news recently, we in Houston have the program, Positive Interaction Program. And this is for the people who are here the first time, which moves me to ask, raise your hand if you're here the first time. Oh boy, okay. Okay, that's great. Secondly, has everyone signed in? You're all good and you signed in, right? If you have not, please sign when you go out. And if you're brand new today, leave your cell number if you want to do that, or leave your internet information. Okay, and on the citywide PIP meetings, the goal is to provide all of the attending members proactive information so you can take these back to your communities. And now I would like to give you Chaplain Vince Johnson. Okay?
Good evening, everyone. We can do a little better than that. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Since this is our first time meeting in 2023, why don't you be politically correct and tell the person next to you Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Now, would you pray with me? Our Father and our God, we thank you for this moment to gather together. We thank you for traveling grace as we drove through the streets to make it here this evening. We ask that something be done or said to bless, encourage, and inspire, and also educate. We thank you for the fellowship, and we ask that you bless this meal that we are receiving. We ask that it be nourishment for our bodies. We again, Lord, say thank you for the community. We thank you for the police department. And we pray that we just continue to network and exercise teamwork, working together. Houston strong, one safe Houston. We thank you, Master, for your protection, and we ask that you just continue to watch over each and every one of us and bless each household that is represented here today. We thank you for the leadership of this department, and we ask that you continue to keep the officers on the streets safe. And we also pray for all first responders in the great state of Texas. This is your servant's prayer. In your precious name, we say thank you and amen. Amen.
We are a dedicated group of citizens and business owners working together with the dedicated chief and command staff, interacting together to reduce crime. We would like to thank all of you for your participation and to gain the growth and recognition from other cities and police departments. And this really has happened. We've had a lot of calls about setting the program up, and it's an unusual program. We were the first ones, right? The first city that ever did that, and that was in 1983. I was looking at some of the figures and I'm going, that's a long time ago, and it was. Okay, we have a video production unit this evening. That's how we are calling them. These are all these people over here. Hi, how are you? Next, we have the department's Crime Analysis Division. This is Citywide Crime Analysis Report, and this is Commander Matthew May. You ready? All right. Okay.
Ready as I'll ever be. Good evening. Thanks for coming out this evening. A big crowd. Good to see. I'm going to review the crime stats for 2022, not to steal too much of the Chief's thunder, just a real brief scan, and then what we've got going on so far in 2023. A couple of caveats. What I've got are not the official crime stat numbers. I've got the reported incidents, not the completed investigations. So we've got about a 1 month lag before they're official. If you're looking for our actual official crime stats, they're available on our webpage, and I'll flash that address up at the end of the presentation. So looking at violent and nonviolent crime categories for 2022 compared to 2021, nonviolent crime was up about 7%, violent crime was down about 10%. When we're looking at nonviolent crime, auto theft and BMV are our crime drivers. When we're looking at violent crime, ag assaults and robberies are really what's driving our trends in Houston. And this is what we're looking at for the these are the numbers for each of the individual crimes for the previous year. This map shows kind of where our crime trends have been over the past year. Everything in blue saw a decrease in violent crime by 10% or more. Everything in red saw an increase in violent crime by 10% or more, and white means there wasn't that much of a change. Now looking at 2020, looking year-to-date so far in 2023, our violent crime is down almost 13%, and our nonviolent crime is down 10%, so we're off to a really good start. Now these are our incidents that involve firearms. So far we've had 21 incidents with 26 victims. Of those 21 incidents, 7 were homicides, 5 were robberies, and 2 involved domestic violence. So that's a really brief snapshot of what we got going on right now. If you want more of our crime stats, please go to our webpage, and if you under crime stats down there at the bottom of the webpage, you'll be able to pull up the official stats. So anyone have any questions? All right, thank you very much.
I would like to have your attention drawn to our police chief. I always wanted to say something like that. Okay, chief, come on. Now be very nice to him, okay?
Thank you very much, Joan. And I want to say something. You're still looking young, but she's been here for a long time with us, and I appreciate that. Time away from your family, a professional lady, and for you to devote so much time here is really a big deal to us. So thank you. You've been a big part of our success. Thanks for 40 years. And we're showing the nation how to do it, and I think every year it gets better. I look out at the audience right now, and there's so many people from so many communities, and that's what makes us strong here in the city of Houston. I want to pause and thank those men and women on the front line. And when I say front line, I mean our support too, because we can't do anything about it without them. It's so important to look at those stats, okay? And I won't go formal tonight because I want y'all to look in the morning. We got to do a formal presentation, myself and leadership team, to City Council on year-end stats and some of the stuff that we want to do moving forward in 2023. But the sky is not falling in Houston. And I know sometimes people push that narrative. And I said at the beginning of January last year, stats were kind of going crazy a little bit. A lot of different incidents. And I just said, hold up. I said, there's 365 days in this year. This is the city. We got great police officers, great support staff, and above all, great citizens, and we work together. And you saw those numbers trend down. One thing I do want to say, the numbers are not where we want them to be. I want them to get pre-COVID, okay? But I just want to remind, especially remind people, just especially some of our first-timers here, the crime didn't start just with COVID, okay? When you have a Hurricane Harvey that came in and hit us, and it ripped apart our criminal justice system, and then you have COVID that came in. So we were 2 years basically in front of everybody with building up a backlog, okay? Because there were no trials, because the criminal justice complex was not in operation. So you add all that, and a high point, 160,000 cases backed up. That's a lot. That's a lot of dangerous individuals running around on our streets, okay? And of that 160,000, 1,500 murder cases. Of that 1,500, 500 or so capital murder cases. So we got to work our way through all that. And with all those challenges, you've seen the citizens of Houston and our great police officers and support staff come together and reduce crime. That's a big deal, and I don't care what anybody say about it, so I think everybody should applaud themselves, our citizens and our police officers, so thank you. I want to touch briefly and say I want to thank our men and women on the front line, but I'm not here by myself. A lot of commanders are here and a lot of lieutenants and my assistant chiefs, executive assistant chief, and then the executive chief. I want to thank y'all for your leadership and helping me move our agency in the right direction. I know there's some other people that need to come up, and I don't want to take too long. But I do understand that unlike the normal meetings, I'm supposed to be a guest speaker. I don't know what that means, though, because, you know, we're family. So what I do want after I talk a little bit, I want to get into a little bit of discussion. We have more time just for a little bit of interaction because I want to hear from our great citizens, which I consider our family members. So moving forward, you'll continue to see us direct ourselves and be laser focused on those individuals in our city that are committing the most crime, those groups that are organizing committing crime and terrorizing our neighborhood. Because make no mistake about it, people say, oh, this area is just horrible. No, most of our people are good, just like most officers are good. We just got to focus on, as a team, getting those individuals off our street and in jail. Let me tell you something. I don't like pointing fingers. I don't think we dig ourselves out of a hole by the chief of police saying negative things about other partners in the criminal justice system. We don't, because everybody needs improvement. And if we work together, get behind closed doors, not in front of the media, not me throwing stones at my DA or anybody else or judges or whatnot. Hey, look, nobody's perfect, but where's the solution? I will tell you one thing that I'm gonna do as chief of police. I wanna get everybody together and come up with a comprehensive plan in Houston-Harris County that looks at our unique challenges that we have, unlike anywhere else in this nation. Nobody has the backlog that we have. And let me tell you some citizens, as we focus in on violent offenders, we're gonna have to accept that we may have to move nonviolent, low-level people suffering from dependency, mental illness, and all that drug dependency. We might have to divert that. And you can't get angry about it because, I mean, if you go to an emergency room, there's a triage system. We simply got to triage where we are right now. And as a family, as a community, focus in on those individuals that's causing us the most pain and suffering. I want to ask, and what I always do when I get up, is that if it's a press conference or whatnot, a tough time when people lose a loved one to violence, I want us to pray for them, have them on our hearts and our minds, lift those families up as we move forward. But I will say this, and I talked to a few leaders just last week. I'm not gonna go into 2023 being quiet. I'm gonna continue to be respectful and continue to work. But if we think in this great county, in this great city, as we put more people in jail, as the court system is still backed up, we gotta have a place to put violent offenders in our county. And for that reason, we're gonna have to find out a way to have more capacity in our Harris County jails, some kind of way. And am I saying, Chief, oh no, just lock everybody up? I didn't say that. I said we gotta be smart about it. But some people are so dangerous and they show themselves time and time again. If they get bailed out and they go out and they commit another crime, you know what they need to be? In jail until they have their trial, plain and simple. So that's something that I'm not gonna push back on. You can see us to continue to work with our partners, both local and federal. I'm gonna tell you something, I'm so proud of our relationship with our local and our state and our federal partners, DPS, our FBI, our ATF, DEA, Homeland, all of our federal partners. We got a great relationship because as the system in Harris County, as its backlog, we got to lean on our federal partners. And what are you talking about then, Chief? Let me tell you what I'm talking about. When a suspect knows that he or she is facing federal time, it sends a message. It brings a huge bat. So I just want to thank our federal partners for coming down. When the Attorney General and our U.S. Attorney came down to Houston, it was a big deal. And I don't get into the political thing. I don't care what side. I look at good people who love the nation and love our country and love our city and our state. But I had an opportunity to go and visit the White House. And I told the president some of our challenges. I told the FBI director. I told our attorney general. They came down with resources. We have 5 or 6 federal prosecutors that are embedded in Houston to deal with violent crime. And they say that they're going to send some more. So I don't care what side of the political spectrum you own. I don't care. But that's a big deal. And I want to say thank them. You'll continue to see us moving forward with some of our tactics looking at some of these violent offenders and really going after them. And how are we going to do that? With your help, using technology as a force multiplier. All you business owners, if you're in charge of a corporation or if you're at your private resident, let me tell you what is a little bit of a deterrent, and it's darn sure a tool to catch criminals once they violate. License plate readers, flock cameras, any kind of camera you use at your home, because when it's a crime committed, if it's on your street and a car or suspects pass by, guess what? We capture that. So you're going to see us increasing our ability to use technology. We got big plans for our command center to make it a true real-time crime center. You'll see us put over $8 million in that system. So those are just some of the things. I want to touch on our recruiting. You saw in the news, I hope, recently, we got a $10,000 signing bonus incentive for anybody that wants to join the Houston Police Department. So that's going to pay some great dividends, and I'm looking forward to it. Over the next few months, we should get more people coming in. Let me pause and say I want a big thanks, huge thanks, to our mayor and our city council. They have been extremely supportive, and through it all, they never back down on supporting us and loving us as law enforcement. And I want to acknowledge that. The One Safe Houston that the mayor put in place, and it's working, and we'll continue to use some of those same strategies and tactics moving forward, and I expect them to be successful. But again, we're only successful as our citizens, as the support. Please, if you see something, say something. And it seems so simplistic, but I tell people in each and every community, how do we solve crime? By information. And that information comes from our great citizens. So please, if you see something, say something, get involved. I do not take your time lightly. Tonight, it's after 7 o'clock. The room is full. So again, I just want to thank y'all, but I want to be quiet for a second because I know it's some other people that has to come up, but I do want to take a few moments and entertain a few questions because we don't get a chance to do it tomorrow. Yes, ma'am.
I know the changes in chapter 30, the noise ordinance have passed, but I had recommended that you all not be the ones responsible for responding to that just because of what you just said. When you all have to deal with the violence on the street, I think the noise ordinance should have been handled by the ARA. The ARA is the same people who put boots on your car and everything, and they should be the one enforcing the noise ordinance, because I know you all don't have time for it, and by the time we tell y'all about it, they may turn the music down, then once y'all leave, they turn it back up. So I really wish you all would look at deferring some of the responsibilities. If that would help lighten y'all load, that would give us more people on the street.
Thank you for the love, my friend, and I don't disagree with you. And I know some of our, and I'm not putting anybody down, some of our regulating departments, they have daytime hours, you know, and we got to look at being flexible. Not only the police are working late hours into the night, and ours is 24/7, and that'll never change, but we do need some help. So I will address that. Thank you. Anybody else? Everybody's happy and quiet. Huh? I don't believe so. Well, that means I've done a pretty good job, you know. Did I leave out thanking somebody? Yes, ma'am.
I know they're talking about doing catalytic converters, turning them into felonies, maybe
Yes.
doing that at the state level.
Yes.
Do we need to be contacting our state officials?
Please
saying,
do. Please
please
do. Please do. It's opening up. I think was it this week or next week, legislature. So yeah, please call.
Okay.
And we'll be up there. I think I'll go up next week too, and for a few meetings. So and that's
'Cause I know that's
this
one.
catalytic converters. Let me tell you something. It's not just simple theft, and we communicated that before. These are organized criminals that are doing this, and unfortunately, our incident last year with our deputy, he comes out the grocery store and he comes up on these knuckleheads and get into a gunfire and end up getting killed. So these are violent offenders, and it's not the same as just regular theft. It's not. So I think that you will see that crime becoming a felony, and it should. And a little bit of notice and warning. Just know if you see somebody up under your car, don't just run over there, okay? These are some violent individuals. Step back and just call us, try to get a description of it. That is one of the crimes that's really driving our theft, and that's one that has our numbers really rising. Our nonviolent is labeled as that, but it's not nonviolent. Those thieves they're dangerous, and we need to put them in jail. Okay? Anybody in the back? Yes.
Yes, about 3 weeks ago, a family who claimed they were from Washington State stopped me at one of the Catholic churches, and I took phone calls and so forth from them for 3 days. I had a lot of information, it's all written down. I reported it to one police officer, but she didn't get the information. And so is it good for me to still report that in case it's got to see something, say something?
Absolutely, and we have some people here that can grab that information from you tonight, so thank you. Absolutely.
Okay, because I don't think they're good people.
Okay? All right. And you could be right. We don't discriminate, we just look at actions, we judge behavior, okay? And I'm sure that's what you're doing. Anybody else? Yes.
I had back in November, the weekend of Thanksgiving, somebody shot a dog, and the dog came to my house, and it was howling. And me and a neighbor tried to take it to one of the local veterinarian offices, but it was a Sunday morning, so it was closed. So when we got back to my house, the dog had passed away. And so, my neighbors are angry about it, but we don't know who did it. And should I have made a police report about that?
You should have. Yes, ma'am. We need to come out. It's a crime to harm a dog, let alone killing that animal. Yes, ma'am.
I called SPCA and they came out, but
Good.
the dog had already passed.
Yeah.
They moved it to the curb, and then I called 311.
Yeah.
And
Violence is violence, and if it's against human beings or animals, they need to be held accountable. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Miles.
Chief, first of all, congratulations on the decrease in crime and also on the recruitment efforts. But I was wondering, is there any plan or possibility of like joining with some of the other agencies, like the Constable's Office, Metro, HISD, or others to try even sharing the same radio systems, or is there any?
I'm glad that you asked that. We are, most of us have radios that's compatible now that we do. It's a lot of communication that a lot of people don't realize that go on. When we have major events, of course, we all together, but we even do a lot of training together as well. So all of the agencies that you see, we work together. Everybody has their own kind of distinct role, but one role that we all share is reducing crime here in the city. So we do a pretty good job with it. Everybody is short-staffed, so we have to work together. So we'll continue to do that. And thanks for asking. In the back, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Earlier, some of the statistics that were showing, something stuck out in my mind. There was the kidnapping. It showed at 22%. Is that a growing problem in Houston?
It's the new kind of reporting system, and the majority of those are it's kind of family. If somebody take a kid or a kid is missing for a little bit, that's what's increasing the numbers. But we on the new NIBRN system, so it kind of skews them a little bit. So we don't have just a whole lot more of what we call traditional kidnapping. Some stranger comes up and snatches someone. So that's what's pushing those numbers up. But we have to go the way of the new system. So thanks for asking that. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else?
I don't have a question, Chief. I have a statement.
Well, good to see you.
Yes, good to see you, Chief. When he first started, he presented in my classroom online. He's
I remember.
coming back in person. Right, Chief?
Yes, ma'am.
But there, as a teacher, as a community member, I just want to say thank you all. You all go got a police officer that goes and eats their lunch. I don't know if they're supposed to do that. I'm not gonna tell you the name.
We do allow them to eat. God,
They eat their lunch near our school.
good.
And we love it, and we feel so much safer. I wish we could have one at every school.
Yes, ma'am.
But it just makes us feel just a little bit safer, and I know the kids love it too. And I want to thank you and thank all of the officers and all of the staff, because, like you said, say something, see something, say something.
Yes, ma'am.
But we have to work as a team.
You see, educators are so intelligent. You know that. You know what she did? No, seriously, thank you so much for your service and any other educators. But you know what? I told her that I was going to come by the school, and she just stood up and she said, well, you know what? I'm going to put you on notice in front of everybody. So thank you so much, though. I'm serious. Thank you. Yeah. And look, while I'm thanking people, I don't know if people are here from our medical profession. If you are, thank you so much. And I'm going to tell you where I'm going. Throughout COVID, and when it was really rough and people were dying, you know what? We're trained to run into danger. Firefighters, police officers. You guys and ladies were not. And y'all stood so strong, not only in our region, throughout the entire world. So I always want to acknowledge that. It's a newfound of respect for our medical professions. And I just want to say, and I try to say that a lot when I'm in public, thank y'all. Thank you. And if you have or you know somebody, please tell them thanks. All right? In the military, is anybody here that's a veteran? Please stand. Please stand. Thank y'all. Thank you very much. Thank you for your service, okay? All right. I think that may be it for me, but I'm going to continue to be here, and I'm going to step out the way and let some other people talk. But look, let's go forward and let's crush some crime together. Love everybody here. Thank y'all so much. Bring more friends. I think pretty soon we kind of outgrowing this place. I love our union building, but if it continues to go like this, we might have to move. We might have to find something bigger. Oh, no. Yeah. All right, Joan. Thank you.
We do have a number of speakers to follow, but I would like to attach some saying to what the chief was saying. He stole my show here.
Sorry. That is his meeting, though.
That's true. About attending the PIP meeting this evening. The police really do care, but they cannot be everywhere. They need our help sometimes. We are their eyes and ears in this community, and we've been saying that a long time. And you should report what you see or hear. And now I'm going to throw the motto at you, and in the middle of this as opposed to the end. If you have the time, you get involved. If you don't have the time, you better make the time. It's your neighborhood and it's your city. And we appreciate the fact that you're here this evening. Okay, our next person, Alto. And I will read what I have on the Alto organization. It's a company that works hand in hand with various retailers across the nation and in Houston and Harris County area. Alto, that's ALTO, has partnered with 119 Walgreens stores across the city and the county. And what they do is they help Walgreens personnel navigate the criminal justice system maze when criminal activity occurs within their stores. Their members act as a liaison between the citizens who work at Walgreens and law enforcement, the district attorney's office, and other community outreach services. And the lady that's going to talk to you is Connie Spencer.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Connie Spence, no R at the end, And I do indeed work for a company called Alto, not to be confused with the car service. Alto or Altoids, the mint, breath mint, it is Alto. And we are a vendor to the Walgreens stores here in Harris County and in some in Brazoria County. And exactly as Ms. Jones said, we work hand in hand with Walgreens employees and most often with the Houston Police Department. And talk about teamwork, that is exactly what Alto is all about. I'm a former prosecutor here in Harris County. I was with the DA's office for about 30 years, and I've already told this joke to everybody up here, but I was the only 10-year-old they ever hired at the DA's office. And after I left the DA's office, I was a magistrate. Joan talked about Harvey, and Chief Finner talked about Harvey. I was actually working as a magistrate the night Harvey hit and had to spend the night at the Criminal Justice Center. Flooded out and then moved over to the Juvenile Justice Center. So absolutely what Chief Finner said about our criminal justice system here in Harris County, it is backed up. And what HPD and the other law enforcement agencies here in Harris County, the constables' offices, the smaller jurisdiction agencies, as well as Harris County Sheriff's Office, they are working night and day to reduce that violent offenders. But let's not forget about that theft. Very quickly, when the stats were being shown, I think you could see that there were 27,000 thefts that were reported to HPD. And theft has become kind of the new crime. And I'm not talking about just someone coming in and shoplifting a bag of chips or some Cokes. We're talking about organized retail theft. That has become a huge, huge business. It's a lot more profitable in some ways than sticking a gun in someone's face, that they are able to steal constantly, and they have their people going out and stealing in stores. And Walgreens is on the front lines. And when you're talking about see something, say something, as citizens, that's exactly what Alto and Walgreens ask you to do. Of course, safety comes first, but if you see something and you can take a license plate down and give that to a Walgreens employee or to one of us at Alto, we certainly appreciate that, because Walgreens stores and their employees most specifically, they are on the front lines of organized retail theft and theft on a daily basis. And what we do at Alto is we work hand in hand with the store employees as well as Walgreens corporate. Chris Scotti, if you'll stand up, sir. He is with Major Offenders with Walgreens, ex-law enforcement agency, or agent, what used to be with HPD. And then I have two customer service or customer success specialists, Cameron Sager, stand up. He goes into the stores. And then we have Jason Robles. Jason, are you here? He is ex-HPD. Oh, there he is, way back there. Jason Robles, he was a detective at HPD for many years, and he is also a customer success specialist. And they go into the stores on a daily basis. They look at surveillance video, they talk to employees, and me, as a staff attorney, I take it from them and go and bug the DA's office. And let me tell you, I can bug that DA's office. And I see how the trends are, I see what the magistrates are doing and the judges are doing, granting PR bond after PR bond after PR bond, and it probably takes 10 arrests to get someone actually incarcerated in jail for any amount of time. So when Chief Finner talks about nonviolent offenders, certainly we need to make room for them in our jails. However, when you have someone who absolutely has no regard for the rule of law and just thumbs their nose at it and comes in and sometimes looks at those cameras and smiles, waves, sometimes makes one of those gestures. I don't know what it is, but if they're doing something ugly to the cameras, well then those people have no respect for their fellow citizens. So that's what we do at Alto, is we work hand in hand with the store employees. We work with HPD, who is excellent. I'm telling you, we have solved crimes. We have gotten our stores safer because of HPD and their DRT, which is differential response teams. They have been super helpful, as well as their organized crime division, and we have gotten some of these crooks off the street. So if you see something, say something. Safety first, always, of course, but please, I ask you to go to a Walgreens manager or an employee and give whatever information you may have. Any questions or anything? All right, well, I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak today. Thank you. And I really appreciate HPD. They are super.
Okay, next we have a brief announcement from Verna Johnson. This is Victim Assistance Coordinator, Felony Court 179, Harris County District Attorney's Office. Are we here? Oh, good. I know. I thought I saw you before. Come around this way. Be careful. Okay.
Hello and good evening. As she stated, my name is Verna Johnson. I'm so happy to be here. I'm not going to take up much of your time, and I want to give you a lot of information. I have some brochures going around, so just read over them. I work with the Victim Services Division of the Harris County District Attorney's Office. We are located in the Criminal Justice Center at 1201 Franklin Street on the second floor. What we do is we make sure that people who have been victims of personal injury crimes have the information to help them navigate through the criminal justice process. We also build a rapport with them. We are the liaison between the victim and the assistant district attorney. We accompany them to court, and we also provide them with resources, whether they be community, legal, utility, or shelters or anything like that. There are 28 of us. And yes, there are 28 of us, and we work with personal injury crimes. Personal injury crimes are crimes that place a person, their body or mind in harm, and it also places them in imminent danger. So some of the crimes that we deal with, of course, are murder, aggravated sexual assault, terroristic threat, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, robbery, anything, like I said, that will harm a person's mind or body and places them in imminent fear. And I must say that, I said I was going to say this, we receive a lot of assault or crimes that happen with children. And we work with many different law enforcement agencies. HPD, you are the best at calling CPS. You are the best. You mandated reporters. When I get an offense report and I get the charge and I go through the offense report, you've already made the call. So I want to thank you for that. I just want to give some more information about what we do. When you are a victim of crime in Texas, you have crime victim rights. And so one of your rights is you have the right to tell the judge and the prosecutor how this crime has affected you physically, emotionally, and financially. And we email what's called a victim impact statement. Now, it's cathartic for you, however, if the person is convicted, once there's a plea or a trial, that victim impact statement will follow the defendant to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. And if there's ever an opportunity for parole, you will be contacted and your victim impact statement will be taken into consideration. The other thing that we inform victims of is that there's the Crime Victims Compensation Program. This is a program through the Office of the Attorney General. And what it offers is financial assistance and financial reimbursement for expenses such as counseling, possibly relocation for people who are victims of sexual assault and domestic violence. In addition, financial assistance or reimbursement for hospital or medical costs, and even counseling costs and funeral costs. Another thing which is very important when you are a victim of a crime, particularly when it comes to intimate partner violence, is being notified if a defendant is released from custody. We want to make sure that people are aware if someone who has caused them harm has been released from custody. And there's a program called VINE, Victim Information and Notification Every Day. So the great thing about that, if you don't get that information from us, you will get it from the HPD Victim Assistance. So you will be notified if someone who has caused you, harm or committed a crime against you, you will be notified if they have been released from custody. That was very brief. I didn't want to take up a lot of time, but out of anything that I said, does anyone have a question? Don't be afraid. There are no stupid questions. I always tell people, when you come to the court system, you're generally not coming there for a good reason. You're a victim, and we realize that many people don't know the process. Many people are intimidated by what's going on. Like, many people don't know that they can speak to the assistant district attorney. We are public servants just like the police officers, and we are here to assist you. Any questions?
After the meeting.
Okay, well, I thank you for listening, and I hope I didn't bore you.
No.
And
Thank you. Okay, next, Houston Food Bank, and we have Valerie Sanchez.
Thank you, Ms. Joan, and thank you to the Houston Police Department. Am I speaking loudly enough for everyone? Okay. I'm very pleased to share the opportunity to introduce the Houston Food Bank's programs. The Houston Food Bank is a national and natural disaster response agency, and our services go far beyond assisting the people who come in for help with food. Food is just something that we can all share in common, that we can agree that we love and maybe even need. So the Houston Food Bank is offering a number of different programs to assist people needing food assistance. We visit agencies on the ground. These are jail diversion agencies, mental health institutions. These are homeless shelters. So we not only help people get the resources that they need, but we are also eyes and ears working hand in hand with HPD and other applicable agencies to see something and to say something, to maybe address the barriers that are being created toward having a more harmonious community. So I really thank everyone that is working together toward that goal. And if you have any more questions about the Houston Food Bank and its programs, please feel free to give us a call. And I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. I know that you have a lot on the agenda for tonight. Thank you very much.
I know you're not going to like this word tax, but from the Property Tax Office. Next. Here she comes. Watch over here. Okay.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Arian Cathy. I am with the Office of Ann Harris Bennett, the tax assessor collector. And I'd like to thank you, Officer Svoboda, to give us the opportunity tonight to give the community updates in regards to tax, property tax. So the services we provide, we have my colleague, Mr. Freddie over there, have pamphlets with all the flyers of the services we provide. So the tax office, we handle all vehicle registration, issue the license plates, and also issue handicap placards. We collect and calculate your property tax. We're the one that mail the property tax towards the end of the year. And we also process other services such as boat registration, hotel motel fees, and alcoholic beverages and coin-operated machines. Some updates I wanted to give are we have recently partnered with the Houston Public Library, and we offer free property tax workshops. We have a flyer over there, and our property tax workshop go through the month of January, February, and March. They're free. You don't have to register. They're all at different public library locations. And then also, just to come for more updates, as of January 1st, Harris County Appraisal District is now called Harris Central Appraisal District. It's still called HCAD, abbreviated, but just a change from county to central. And that's it. As always, our workshop is available. Our pamphlets over there have all the information with Mr. Freddy. Please stop by and pick up a pamphlet. It has all the information on our tax office website and phone number. And that's it. Thank you so much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you. Okay, Kim. I knew you were close by. Okay, this is Houston Citizens Police Academy, class of 70. I don't know what that means.
I was graduate of class 70.
Okay, all right. A short minute.
Short minute, okay. But you told me not to talk fast. Okay. As Joe mentioned, I'm Kim Stensvog with the Houston Citizens Police Academy. I will make this very brief. But before I get started, can I get a raise of hands of those that have participated in a Citizens Police Academy class? All right. Yes. Those individuals, along with myself, had an opportunity to spend 10 weeks learning the intricate inner workings of HPD. It's a class that allows you an opportunity to understand SWAT, mounted patrol, pursuit driving, and the helicopter division. There's a lot of different areas within the police department that is not openly known to the public, and this gives you an opportunity to learn those areas. Personally, I'd like to say thank you to the chief and to his leadership staff for allowing us this opportunity. It's been an honor getting to know the police officers, getting to know the areas inside the HPD, and the different areas that are definitely there to help us as a community. But on that note, let's see here. I would like to announce that we have an upcoming class, our spring session. We are taking applications now, and our table that's back there, Janie, wave your hand, Mike, wave your hand. They have little pamphlets with some information that'll allow you to sign up if you're interested in attending. The class starts on March 21st. It's every Tuesday for about 3 hours. We learn a different topic for every topic for 10-week period. So if you enjoy coming to the PIPs, please sign up for the class. You'll learn so much about HPD. You'll appreciate what they do. And thank you again, the officers in the back, for everything that you bring to the table.
Thank you very much.
On behalf of the Citywide Board, Divisional PIP officers, the entire command staff, we'd like to thank all of you for being here. The PIP members who have been involved in their neighborhoods, you take back the information that you receive here. And the ultimate answer to that is, and the goal, crime prevention. And we've done the motto and everything else. Now, don't race to the food that's now open for distribution, but enjoy it. Thank you all for being here, and let's have a wonderful 2023.